Good, happy Thursday morning, December 12th, 2019. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. First up, Manchester police take 150 seniors on annual Christmas light tour. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Chapel Tractor has been in our family since 1955, when great-grandfather Pearlie and our grandfather George decided to sell.
Welcome back. A dazzling display tonight for 150 seniors who once again joined the Manchester Police Department for their Christmas light tour. Take a look at this. They were treated to incredible lights like these on Stephen Drive in Bedford. The Jobin family spends months setting these up. It's one of just several stops that the bus tour makes in Bedford and Manchester. At the end, everyone is treated to some singing, treats, and of course Santa at the Manchester Police Athletic League.
Lovely. It was my first time, and I'm 86, but I'll be back at 87.
They were just beautiful. Oh, just all over. They were wonderful.
And tonight, the city debuted its newest trolley on the tour.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Very cool indeed. Looks like a fun event there. Record-breaking number of toys donated during the Spirit of Giving toy drive. Need remains for toys for children 10 and up. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Charisse LeClaire.
We feel that if a customer wants their product and they're ambitious and they want to do it today, if we have it here in stock, we have the people, the trucking, and why put off till tomorrow what you can do today?
Visit us at powellstone.com.
Thousands more toys dropped off at the warehouse in Manchester Wednesday, where they're diligently sorted into age groups, prepared to be sent off to children across the state. This haul of 69 boxes from state police.
We hosted just under 20 events this holiday season for mainly our Stuffer Cruiser events, but they were all over the state, so great community involvement with our troopers and our state employees, as well as members of the community.
Granite State once again made all of this possible. Bikes, piles of toys, dolls, games. You all helped break a record. But there is still an age group that needs a little more of your generosity.
We are still struggling with ages 10 and up. A lot of people like to give for the little kids, which is awesome. But we really struggle trying to fill the need for the kids that are older.
There's about 1,000 toys needed for them. Gift ideas include Lego sets, science kits, cologne, perfume, arts and crafts kits, and speakers.
It's just nice to see people being so generous, to see them coming out and giving of themselves for other people. It just reminds you that there's a lot of selfless people who really want to do something nice for someone and brighten their holiday.
And you can drop off toys up until the 16th to help fill the need. If you don't know of anyone collecting, you can always drop off your toys at any one of these Toys for Tots pods at the Concord VFW, Pelham Fire Department, Bedford Police Department, and the Z107 radio station in Portsmouth. Again, we really just want to thank everyone who gave so generously this year. In Manchester, Charisse LeClaire, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Driver accused of driving drunk and striking pedestrian in Loudon. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Strict attention to detail. That's what sets Kubota construction equipment apart. It's how we maximize.
Jess, thank you. And right now in Loudoun, a driver is facing a number of charges tonight, accused of driving.
Okay, looks like we're having a little technical difficulties with that video. Let's see if we can get it going again for all of you.
Concord and Meredith.
Right now at Lovering Volvo, your first payment is on us, in addition to saving up to $14,000 off select 2019 models.
Call or visit us today.
Jess, thank you. And right now in Loudoun, a driver is facing a number of charges tonight, accused of driving drunk and hitting a pedestrian. Police say Richard Audet did not stop when he hit the man on Route 106 just before 5. Audet is charged with conduct after an accident and DWI. First responders say the victim's injuries do not appear to be life-threatening.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Manchester police now utilizing drones in search and rescue SWAT situations. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Siobhan Lopez.
Landowners, it's time for special year-end savings from Mahindra, the world's #1 selling.
A new tool is taking off at the Manchester Police Department. The newly formed drone unit already seeing success after police deployed the device when responding to Derryfield Park Tuesday evening for a report of a suicidal woman in the woods. Even though it was dark, police were able to quickly find the woman using the thermal imaging camera.
If we had used the canine in this particular instance, we would have started in one location, and it probably would have had the same outcome. It just may have been a little longer.
Police say the drones will also be vital in keeping officers safe in SWAT situations.
I think it's huge for officer safety, especially going into attics and then going into basements, dark areas.
Officer Joseph Tucker says this kind of technology could have made a difference when 2 officers were shot in the city in 2016.
I'm not saying if this would have been 100%, but it's a tool that we could have used, and I wish it was available when Officer Hardy and Officer O'Connor got shot.
Officer Hardy was shot around 2 a.m. Tucker says a drone with thermal imaging could have helped find the suspect before Officer O'Connor was shot in a different area almost 30 minutes later.
And with how quick the FAA is to approve flights, depending on the location, we would have had, I think, great success.
The unit has multiple drones for all different scenarios. The group will start off with about 12 members and could grow in the future. We're live in Manchester tonight. Siobhan Lopez, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. AG office reports man arrested in connection to homicide in Sandown. Officials released statement Monday night. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Ray Brewer. Sorry, and Jessica Moran.
We feel that if a customer wants their product and they're ambitious and they want to do it today, if we have it here in stock, we have the people, the trucking, and why put off till tomorrow what we can do today.
Visit us at powerofstone.com.
42-year-old Patrick Irish leaves the Sandown Police Department in state police custody, charged with alternative counts of second-degree murder. The Attorney General's office says he killed his 88-year-old grandmother, Aileen Irish, in her Phillipswood Road home.
Sandown police responded to the residents about 1 a.m. this morning to a call for service for help and found Mrs. Irish deceased in her home.
Investigators say Patrick Irish was the one who called police and he was living with his grandmother. An autopsy revealing how she died.
The autopsy was conducted this afternoon, and Dr. Duval determined that her cause of death was multiple traumas to the head, blunt force trauma to the head, and her manner of death was homicide.
Neighbors are shocked by the news of Aileen's death.
I just can't believe it. You know, I wish things were different. I wish we would have known, you know. Just to think of that poor lady and just so helpless.
They describe Aileen as very active in her community.
She built the house many years ago. Her and her husband passed away, and she's been there by herself just thriving. She gave piano lessons and, you know, just a wonderful, wonderful lady.
And Patrick Irish is expected to be arraigned in Rockingham County Superior Court tomorrow. In Sandown, Jessica Moran, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And now let's take a look at your 2020 New Hampshire candidate tracker for December 12, 2019. And we have one candidate in New Hampshire today, Elizabeth Warren. She's in New Hampshire today for one event, economic policy speech at St. Anselm College in Manchester, New Hampshire at 11 o'clock a.m. So one candidate today in New Hampshire. U.S. features point to slightly higher open. U.S. stock index features were slightly higher Thursday morning. Jersey City shootout was a targeted attack. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
We begin tonight with the chilling new surveillance of what authorities are now calling a targeted and deadly attack just outside New York City. The mayor calling it a hate crime. Police are now looking closely at this surveillance video tonight. The two gunmen, a man and a woman, getting out of a van, crossing the street there, opening fire inside that kosher grocery store. 3 people were killed inside. A police detective had been killed right before. Police arriving quickly, and then SWAT teams. The firefight went on for hours. Bystanders running away from the danger, and tonight we are learning more here about the suspects. The pipe bomb that was found in a stolen U-Haul that day, and the anti-police, anti-Semitic writings online. ABC's Adrian Bankert leads us off from Jersey City.
Tonight we have chilling surveillance video that captures the horror at that kosher market in New Jersey and what police say was a targeted attack. Both suspects slowly emerging from a stolen U-Haul van before one of them aims a high-powered rifle at the store and opens fire.
There were multiple other people on the street, so there were many other targets available to them that they bypassed to attack that place. So it was clearly that was their target, and they intended to harm people inside.
Police say the two gunned down the owner, Mindy Ferenz, a mother of 5, an employee, Douglas Rodriguez, and a customer, Moishe Deutsch.
A few hundred bullets went into a body of a 24-year-old child. How can we, as a community, as people, bear that?
One person in the market was injured but survived the hail of bullets that terrorized Jersey City for hours yesterday. The suspects killed in the gun battle identified tonight as 50-year-old Francine Graham and 47-year-old David Anderson. Sources tell ABC News that Anderson recently made anti-Semitic posts online. It all started when Detective Joe Seals, investigating the murder of an Uber driver, encountered the suspects at this cemetery. Police say they killed the officer, a father of 5, driving a mile to that Jewish market at just after noon. For more than 3 hours in a standoff with heavily armed officers.
Sound like we were at war. That's what it sounds. It sounds like Desert Storm out here. Like we were at war.
In the end, police ramming the store with an armored truck, the bodies of the suspects and the victims found inside. Authorities did recover a pipe bomb and religious writings from that stolen U-Haul. The suspects, believed to be members of the Black Israelites, considered by the FBI to be a domestic terror group known for anti-Jewish and anti-police views.
There is no question that this is a hate crime.
Police now pointing to the bravery of the officers who contained the violence, including 2 patrolmen first at the scene and wounded.
Yesterday could have been far deadlier. And the reason it was not is due to the heroism of the men and women of the Jersey City Police Department.
And Adrian Banker's back with us again tonight from outside that market. And Adrian, I know you're learning more about the suspects tonight.
Yeah, so one of those suspects, David Anderson, had a history of criminal offenses, including weapons charges. Now, we know that tonight 2 of those innocent victims will be laid to rest. They'll also hold a vigil for all of the victims at the cemetery where Detective Seals was murdered. Meanwhile, the kosher market behind us here, the scene of those merciless killings, boarded up. David?
Adrian Banker leading us off tonight. Adrian, thanks.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that is it for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all enjoyed watching, and have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.